I am Tumwesigye. I write for Leadership magazine of Combined Missionaries. I contribute to education section. And today, welcome to the review of Leadership magazine. I'm here to talk about how to sail through third term. As you are well aware that third term in all schools in Uganda is a very unique term. It is a unique term because it is a transitional term where students prepare to sail through a year and again join a new year in a new class. And this calls for a lot of things happening in the life of a child or a learner in school. First of all, we look at academics. In academics, a student has to pass end of year exams. This calls for serious preparation for exams in the third term. And as you are aware that the third term is really very short a term, it is supposed to start on 15th of September and to end on 5th of December. But again, packed with a lot of activities. Because we have UNEB examinations for senior 4s, we have UNEB examinations for senior 6. And again, on the part of teachers, they are rushing to finish syllabus. Then students, it's time to prove that what you studied in the whole year, you are ready to transition into a new class. And this calls for you to pass exams, the end of year exams, which we call actually promotional exams. Therefore, as a student, as a learner, there are quite a lot of things you need to look at. First of all, you need to review all what you covered in a year, beginning from January to December. And then ensure that you have them review all the chapters in every subject. Maybe you are taking 8 subjects. You have to review everything in 8 subjects and ensure that you understand. And not only even looking at memorizing the subject matter, but actually understanding the key concepts so that when you come to the real exams to answer, you are looking at conceptual issues, but not what you've memorized. So on the part of a student, you need to review everything, ensure that all chapters, you understand them, and you know all the concepts in those chapters, and then you are ready for exams. When it comes to candidate classes, then you look at, for example, UCE, those who are going to sit for senior 4. You need to be understanding the concepts, you need to be understanding the approach of the new curriculum so that you are able to read and analyze the scenarios and then answer according to reality, the real life situation, including all the projects you've done. And as you're aware, you are second to the pioneer students of the new curriculum. You need to know that actually now the teachers and the entire nation is now used of the new curriculum. Therefore, you have no option but to excel. Therefore, it's time to concentrate a lot. And for USCE, those who are going to sit for senior 6, you are very much aware that you are the last cohort of sitting for USCE. Maybe there might be no chance for you to repeat. When you repeat, you have to go again to senior 1 to fit into the new curriculum. So it is time also to be aware of all these issues. And again, be aware of distractors. Of course, they are distractors. For being a third term, it may not stop teachers, for example, maybe to have a demonstration, a strike. If it is about maybe, for example, salaries, maybe a rise in salaries or anything, this might affect you, but you have to know that this year is your year. So you have to continue focused and don't get distracted. And maybe on an important note, I would want to say that in most cases, as young people, they get to be distracted by even social issues. It is not time to start looking for that boyfriend that you never had. It is not time to start actually writing those love letters. It is now time. For the schools maybe that allow students to to use phones. Please, it is not time for social media. It is now time for concentration and making sure that you are ready to sit for your exams. Come December, you have a reason to celebrate Christmas. And I really appeal to you all that a year, when it's ending, then it should end in style when you have focus and purpose. Therefore, I expect every student to be having the study objectives. You have to be having objectives that you are trying to achieve as we come to the third term. But also, I wouldn't want to dwell much on students only. I would really also call upon the parents, because sometimes students, we all learners, without support from parents, it may not work well for the learners. Because parents, we have responsibilities to play in education of our students. What environment are you giving to a child at home? Is it a conducive environment for a child to read books? Or maybe you don't even give a child a chance to read books. And also guide. Do you involve yourself in even his life of study? Or for you, it is all about I've paid school fees and I have completed. So we need to go beyond even paying school fees. We look at, you may even start by a day. For example, when a child comes back from school, ask what have you studied, what challenges have you met? And in so doing, the child realizes that my parent, my guardian is involved in my education. I have to be very careful. But if you are a type of a parent who is not concerned about the education of a child, then no need. The child also knows, after all, my parents do not even matter. Sometimes I want to tell you that even when you call a child, for example, end of week, maybe it's a Sunday, you're at home, you've prepared that dining table and you are to have a good lunch with them. Be a Sunday being a time to reunite with our family members, ask them, how are you preparing for exams? How far have you gone? What challenges are you meeting? Tell you what they've studied in a week. Sometimes you may not be an expert in a subject, but ask, what have you studied? Tell me about the chapters you've covered and what have you gotten. You will realize that even a child will be very happy to tell you, and then you will feel like, oh, my parent is coming into my life. I need also to be serious with that. Let's continue guiding our children, not only paying school fees, but really coming into their life of education. And of course, leave alone that, maybe that final encouragement. Third term exams, especially national exams, senior 6 and senior 4, they bring a lot of fear. We've seen situations when even children fall sick. We call it examination fever. That is, they are psychologically not in a normal state. But you need to sit exams when you're in a psychologically stable state. Which means that we need to come in and even show to them that that is not the end of the road, and also give them hope. They know a lot, but it's easy to have a student or a candidate have all the material evaporate from the head simply because they have not been supported mentally. So we need to ensure that we keep on supporting them, provide for them, guide them, encourage them, and visit them at last minute. Give them hope, and we are sure our students will pass. But again, also on the part of teachers, some teachers tend to again over-concentrate on coverage of subject of the syllabus. The syllabus, yes, should be covered because it is end of the year, but have also time to look at another dimension of education of a child. Guide them, encourage them, counsel them, give them hope. But again, also having this individual and personal touch to actually even learn more what is happening in the life of a child. Today I've been talking to one of the child I sponsor, and she was actually reported late to school. But again, when I was asking her the chapters she covered in the term, she showed me that, for example, in geography, they had covered continental drifting, the first chapter, but she was not there. But again, she said they covered the chapter. And then I said, but what about you, much as you reported and they had covered it? Then she told me, I never studied it, so I never bothered. I said, but do you think there could be a way you could have studied it? Maybe by approaching a teacher to pass through for you, or even asking one of the students whom you think is speaking quickly in class. And he said, no, but I even don't know those students who are good in class. But that shows you such a child is not guided. So I had to sit down to square one and started explaining to her about what she could do, identifying a child who could help her in understanding a chapter. Where they fail to understand the concepts, they go to a teacher and then have discussions in class and then pick chapters, because we have different ways of learning. So as we go to third term, I would like to say that let's play our roles. Parents, students, and also teachers. Head teachers bring the environment in the school that is very conducive to passing. I look forward to seeing everyone sailing through and being promoted to other terms. Thank you, and thank you very, very much for listening.